You know the dance of joy. You know Borky's accent.
We are so happy we do the dance of joy!
Larry's panic. Two cousins sharing a Chicago apartment. Perfect Strangers ran 8 seasons on ABC, launched one of television's most beloved Friday night traditions, and turned a Beverly Hills Cop bit player into a genuine star. But the story behind the show is stranger than anything that ever happened on MyPose. Here are 15 facts you almost certainly don't know. Fact 1. Bronson Pinchot said no. Before Borky Bartokomous existed, the man who would play him wanted nothing to do with it. Fresh off Beverly Hills Cop, Pinchot had just delivered one of the most talked-about cameos of 1984 as Serge, an art gallery employee with an unplaceable foreign accent. The role had already started following him into audition rooms. When producers Tom Miller and Robert Boyett approached him about playing a naive immigrant in a weekly sitcom, he said no. He had trained as a serious actor at Yale and had no interest in a career built around accents. It took a solo trip to Greece to change his mind. He came back, said yes, and began building Borky from scratch. Fact 2. 3 networks said no until one scene changed everything. Before ABC said yes, every major American network had already passed. Producers Dale McRaven, Tom Miller, and Robert Boyett pitched the show as The Greenhorn, and ABC, CBS, and NBC all rejected it. Then Beverly Hills Cop opened in December 1984, and Pinchot's 3-minute cameo as Serge became one of the most discussed performances in the film. Producers went back with a new pitch and a new title. ABC reconsidered. The show was greenlit. No pitch meeting, no rewritten spec script, just one unexpected supporting performance in an Eddie Murphy movie. A single scene nobody planned for is the reason Perfect Strangers ever got made. Fact 3. Louis Anderson was almost Larry. The Larry Appleton you know almost belonged to a different comedian. Before Mark Linn-Baker was cast, a pilot had already been filmed with stand-up comedian Louis Anderson playing a character called Cousin Louis. The episode was shot, screened, and shelved. Producers decided the chemistry wasn't right and let Anderson go. After multiple auditions, Linn-Baker was cast, the character was renamed Larry, and the pilot was filmed a second time. 2 complete versions exist. Only one ever aired. Anderson went on to host Family Feud and win an Emmy for Baskets, but his version of Perfect Strangers has never been seen by the public. Fact 4. The moonlighting guest spot that made Larry Appleton real. Mark Linn-Baker didn't fight his way into Perfect Strangers. He was spotted on television. A producer saw him in a 1985 guest appearance on Moonlighting, the hit ABC drama starring Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, in an episode called Atlas Belched. Something about his timing and naturalism read as exactly the straight man energy the show needed. He came in for a reading. The chemistry with Pinchot was immediate. What makes the story quietly remarkable is that both men were Yale-trained stage actors who had taken very different routes to the same room, and neither knew the other was coming. Fact 5. 2 Yale men who had never met. Pinchot and Linn-Baker both trained at the Yale School of Drama, and somehow never once crossed paths. Yale's program is not large, its classes are intimate, its alumni tight-knit, and its graduates tend to know each other well. Yet both men attended during overlapping years without ever meeting. Their first real encounter was a chemistry read for the show. The connection was immediate, the kind of rapport that other creative partnerships spend years trying to manufacture. The most natural friendship on the show was a Yale reunion that almost never happened. Fact 6. The 6-episode season that shouldn't have worked. ABC did not give Perfect Strangers a full first season. It ordered 6 episodes as a mid-season replacement for spring 1986, the minimum viable run, barely enough time for the show to find its voice. Executives thought a limited test was safer than a full fall commitment. Production moved at reckless speed. 1 episode aired just 1 week after its first rehearsal. Then the ratings arrived. 5 of the 6 episodes cracked the Nielsen Top 10. A show given the smallest possible mandate became one of the network's fastest rising hits, and a full season order followed almost immediately. Fact 7. Borky was named after a dog. The name Borky Bartokomous, one of the most distinctive in 1980s television, came from a family pet. The character's original name on the page was Vev. It wasn't working. In a conversation with producers about what to call the character, Pinchot remembered that his family had once considered naming his sister's dog Borky, short for balcony. The name had stuck in his memory. He said it aloud. Producers liked it immediately. He built outward from there, arriving at Borky Bartokomous, a name that felt like it could only belong to someone from a fictional Mediterranean island. Fact 8. A trip to Greece built the character. Borky was not invented in a writer's room. When Pinchot traveled to Greece before accepting the role, he was processing his reluctance, not researching. What he found changed his approach entirely. The warmth of ordinary people, the generosity in everyday interactions, the way strangers treated him like someone they already knew, that became Borky's emotional core. The accent was invented, Mypos was fictional, the sheep cheese was a joke, but the sincerity that kept Borky from tipping into caricature was absorbed from real people in a real country. Pinchot wasn't performing naivety, he was channeling something genuine he had actually encountered. Fact 9. The 1984 Olympics started it all. Perfect Strangers did not begin as a story about cousins. Producer Tom Miller has said the original concept came directly from the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, when international athletes arriving in an American city produced a wave of cross-cultural goodwill that caught the producer's attention. Their early idea centered on a stranded foreign athlete navigating American life. The cousin relationship came later, so did Chicago, the Ritz discount store, and most everything else. The premise was reworked significantly in development, but the original impulse, the specific discomfort and electricity of being genuinely foreign in America, remained the engine underneath every episode. Fact 10. The grouchy boss became Pumba. The actor who played the most irritable character in Perfect Strangers' early run went on to deliver one of Disney's most beloved vocal performances. Ernie Sabella played Donald Twincassetti, the gruff, perpetually exasperated owner of the Ritz discount store, across the first 2 seasons before exiting in 1987. 7 years later, he was voicing Pumba the Warthog in The Lion King alongside Nathan Lane's Timon. The contrast is almost too clean. The sour grape landlord became the cheerful optimist of the Pride Lands. Sabella's performance remains among the most recognized in the Disney catalog. Fact 11. The elevator operator who outlasted the show. The most consequential supporting character in Perfect Strangers appeared in very few scenes. Harriet Winslow, a recurring elevator operator at the Chicago Chronicle, played by Jo Marie Payton, was not central to the main storylines, but producers noticed she was magnetic whenever she appeared. In 1989, ABC built a spin-off around her home life, Family Matters. The show cast Reginald VelJohnson, coming off Die Hard, as her husband Carl. It eventually introduced Steve Urkel. Family Matters ran until 1998. Perfect Strangers ended in 1993. An elevator operator in a supporting role outlasted the show that created her by 5 years. Fact 12. The DVD problem nobody talks about. Perfect Strangers has never been fully released on home video, and the reason is more frustrating than most fans realize. Warner Home Video released only the first 2 seasons on DVD in 2008. The remaining 6 seasons have never appeared in any physical format. The obstacle is not poor sales. According to reporting from TV shows on DVD, the holdup is music licensing. The show used popular songs throughout its run, and clearing rights for a full release would mean renegotiating dozens of individual deals, many expensive, some involving labels that no longer exist in their original form. It is a problem affecting many shows from the era. Perfect Strangers is simply one of the most prominent casualties. Fact 13. Perfect Strangers built TGIF. The show didn't just survive ABC's Friday night, it created it. Perfect Strangers aired on Tuesdays first, then Wednesdays. In March 1988, ABC moved it to Fridays at 8 p.m. and built its entire Friday lineup outward from the show's existing audience. That block eventually became TGIF, one of the most recognizable programming brands of the 1990s. Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Haggin' with Mr. Cooper, every show that opened on a TGIF Friday was sitting in a chair Perfect Strangers built. Fact 14. The Leftovers made Perfect Strangers unforgettable again. In 2017, HBO's The Leftovers aired an episode titled Don't Be Ridiculous, the name lifted directly from Borky's catchphrase. Written by showrunners Damon Lindelof and Tom Perrotta, the episode built its central narrative around Perfect Strangers. The theme song played over the opening credits. Mark Linn-Baker appeared as a fictional version of himself, a man who had faked his disappearance out of survivor's guilt. The idea originated with writer Jacqueline Hoyt, who pitched it to Lindelof, a genuine fan of the original show. Critics called it one of the finest episodes the series produced. A cancelled sitcom from 1993 became the emotional anchor of prestige television in 2017. Fact 15. Lucille Ball was watching. The most accomplished comedy performer in American television history publicly named Perfect Strangers as a show she loved, and the timing makes it remarkable. In 1986, Lucille Ball returned to network television with Life with Lucy, a sitcom built to recapture the magic of I Love Lucy. It was cancelled after 8 episodes. That same year, Perfect Strangers premiered. When the show returned for its 2nd season, Ball told the press she loved the 2 leads and that they were just great. Pinchot later said hearing that was like being a watercolorist and having Renoir call your work interesting. She was watching the show that was succeeding while her own was failing, and she said so, quietly, without fanfare. Perfect Strangers ran for 8 seasons, launched a franchise, named its lead character after a dog's nickname, and still has no complete home video release. It was rejected by 3 networks, filmed twice with 2 different casts, and built by a man who traveled to Greece to figure out who he was playing. The Dance of Joy became shorthand for something real, 2 people from completely different worlds building something together neither could have managed alone. That's a better idea than most of us remember. If this one surprised you, subscribe. We cover classic television every week, and there's always something still worth finding.